Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the December 2nd edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Andrea Blanford. Student Congress faces questions and criticism following the Speaker's surprise resignation.
Some former UNC employees are jobless heading into Christmas. They say the university targeted them unfairly.
In sports, John Henson and the freshmen are playing their best ball of the year, and we'll look back on what was a stellar fall semester for Carolina's athletics program.
Weathercaster John Boyer will tell us we're in for some bone-chilling cold this weekend.
All that and a Carolina alum who gets paid to spend time with scores of beautiful women.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
It's been a semester filled with controversy for Student Congress. Good evening, I'm Lauren Magaha.
And I'm Chris Neal. Thanks for joining us. Seats have gone unfilled all semester. Results of a controversial special election are still unclear, and now Congress is looking for a new speaker. Andrea Blanford is live in the newsroom. Andrea, we've heard frequent criticism directed at Congress. This latest news can't help the group's reputation on campus.
You're right, Chris. Students are more concerned than ever that a lack of commitment at the leadership level means Congress isn't acting in their best interest.
When Joe Levin Manning climbed aboard as Speaker for UNC Student Congress, he had every intention of serving his entire term.
Me resigning wasn't necessarily because of the fact that I didn't care or that I didn't want to do anything. It's more so that I recognize that I'm not that I cannot do this job as fully as it deserves because of the fact that I'm going for Student President.
The ex-speaker says being busy isn't a crime.
I mean, we go to Carolina. I mean, everyone is involved with more than one thing, and to expect someone to just be involved with one thing is just really kind of, in my opinion, offensive.
But his critics want to know, if he's abandoning ship now, what's to stop him if he becomes captain?
I would say, well, I'm a senior. I'm going to be a senior at the time. There's really not much else to do. Like, when you're Student President, I mean, there's really not much else to go except for graduation.
Overcommitment might have pushed Levin Manning to resign as an administrator, but he says he won't quit Congress altogether, especially at a time when the governing body is working to improve its tarnished reputation.
We're really making strides this year to kind of make it so that Student Congress isn't a joke. I would say that we're really, I mean, yes, there's been a lot of controversy, but that's also because of the fact that a lot of the things in the student code, which is what governs us, isn't clear.
Levin Manning says Congress will most likely elect acting Speaker Dakota Williams as its new leader when the group reconvenes in January.
Okay, Andrea, what exactly is Congress's plan for making the student body Congress more effective in the future?
Well, managing that student code is a top priority right now. They're going through breaking it down title by title to make it more clear. They're also planning social events for Congress members as a way to unify the governing body.
Okay, Andrea Blanford starting us off tonight live in our newsroom. Thanks, Andrea.
And before we know it, we'll be seeing those campaign signs all across campus again. Former Speaker of Congress Joe Levin Manning and other students interested in running for student body president or other offices met Tuesday night with the Board of Elections. The board meets all candidates to make sure they understand election rules. Students aren't yet able to say which offices they plan to run for because that would be considered campaigning, which can't start until mid-January.
Following the death of its president and the investigation that followed it, the fraternity Delta Kappa Epsilon must follow new rules and very strict standards of conduct. Archdale police shot the fraternity president, Cortland Smith, following a highway confrontation in August. That happened after he attended a DKE party. The university later cited the fraternity for alcohol violations at that and other parties. Now DKE must have alumni or faculty advisors at events, must add several leadership positions, including a person to deal with risk management, and must form a local alumni advisory board.
Texting and driving will now cost you $100 if law enforcement officers catch you. The new driving while texting ban builds on a 2006 law which made it illegal for young people to drive while using cell phones. Under this new law, all drivers are prohibited from texting or sending emails. However, adults can continue to send or receive phone calls. Motorists will also be fined as much as $100 if they are caught driving a car with a license plate frame that covers the state name or plate date.
UNC students will soon be able to pinpoint the arrival of their nighttime transportation. Student government plans to install next bus tracking equipment in every P2P shuttle in Chapel Hill next semester in an effort to increase campus safety. Riders will be able to look up arrival times at bus stop screens like this, as well as on the Chapel Hill Next Bus website. Student officials are hoping more riders will use the P2P if they have access to more reliable information about arrival times.
UNC's budget cuts have resulted in more than 140 layoffs for non-faculty employees since July 2008. Julianne McKellogg is in our satellite studio. Julianne, some former employees claim that budget cuts aren't the only reason for the layoffs.
Lauren, some of those let go served on the executive committee of the University Employee Forum, which shares non-faculty employee concerns with the administration. And they believe their board activities may have been a factor in their dismissals.
Mike McEwen turned in his office key on October 2nd after working as the AV coordinator at the School of Public Health for 11.5 years. But this means he's also leaving his role on the Employee Forum. And in that position, he says he questioned many of the administration's decisions.
6.5 years, and I've seen quite a lot of things going on, various, let us say, administrator shenanigans.
He says that includes former Employee Forum Executive Committee member Brenda Densler's layoff.
A number of the things, like questions she's asked, I think have made administrators nervous. I think her questions were very to the point.
In an email, Densler said the number of layoffs of the Employee Forum's executive committee members were unusually high. She wrote, "So why is the layoff figure so disproportional among recently stepped down members of the Employee Forum Executive Committee? Inquiring minds want to know." But the Vice Chancellor of Human Resources, Brenda Malone, has a different perspective.
A couple of members of the Employee Forum who've received layoff notice, but not at all tied to their role as members of the Employee Forum.
Employee Forum Director Tommy Griffin also noticed some discrepancies.
I don't believe Chancellor Thorpe would do anything like go after people for retaliation, but there's a lot of people in between him and the folks that got laid off, and sometimes they tell the truth, but sometimes they tell the truth their way.
Malone still backs the administration's actions.
Your question kind of borders on whether or not someone was kind of retaliated against for being in the forum or any. There's been none of that. I feel very, very comfortable in saying that that's not it at all.
Still, McEwen and others question the administration's actions, but because there's not much of a paper trail, it comes down to a matter of he said, she said.
Julianne, Griffin was careful not to blame the chancellor for any of these problems. So who do these committee members say is responsible?
Well, Lauren, many say these issues were with the mid-level administrators, but they also questioned the response from South Building on bigger issues, including employee parking and pay cuts.
That's Julianne McKellogg in our satellite studio. Thanks, Julianne. You know, we've all heard lots of complaints about tuition increases, but not as much about fee increases, and it turns out those are going up as well.
That's right, Lauren. Coming up after the break, we'll show you the controversy surrounding our student fees going to pay for childcare.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car. Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me. Feed the pig.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
I present to you Algebra 2, Foreign Languages, and finally, Biology. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Me.
Yeah, I'll do it. Me too. Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college.
Tuition is going up again, and so might student fees. New proposals would raise the total to nearly $1,000 a semester per student. Bethany Tuggle is live in the studio. Bethany, one of the fees that already went up has some people concerned.
Lauren, the concerns are that the people who actually pay the bills, usually parents, don't know anything about the increases until they're a done deal. And that some of the fees benefit very few students, even though we all have to pay them.
Annetta Grindstaff's life is the very definition of a balancing act. Not only is this 23-year-old a graduate student at UNC, she's also a wife and mother of 2.
It's a lot of work. I mean, besides, starting your homework at 9, 10 o'clock, besides staying up all night sometimes to do your homework, then I'm running around all day.
In addition to her busy schedule, she has the stress of finding affordable childcare. Lucky for her, she benefits from the Child Care Services Scholarship, which student parents can apply for to help subsidize these costs. Last semester, students voted for an increase in the Child Care Services fee, raising it to $12.81 per semester. With nearly 29,000 students paying this fee, the total available to go toward child care is more than $370,000. For parents like Grindstaff, that's great news.
To me, $10 or $12 is nothing, for giving children quality child care and giving these parents a chance to go to school.
Kathy Tyndall isn't so concerned about the amount, but doesn't like the idea of paying into a system that doesn't benefit her 2 daughters who both attend UNC.
My concern was that I had no real say-so in this. And I was also concerned that this fee was benefiting so few students.
With the additional funds, the scholarship program managers hope to serve 45 children of student families this year. There are an additional 56 eligible children on the waiting list. At best, the funding would help pay childcare costs for 100 children.
What is the cap? Could they propose a $1,000 semester fee increase that I'm responsible to pay for?
Grindstaff says critics are getting too caught up in the numbers.
What they don't understand is that, some people have children in school, but it's not always a choice. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes things happen, and you shouldn't punish students for becoming parents.
Now, Tyndall says she'd happily contribute to a fund to help students with children if asked. She just doesn't like surprises that cost money.
Now, Bethany, the child care fee isn't the only fee we pay that we don't necessarily benefit from, right?
That's right. Reporter Mia Moore and I are also looking at other fees we pay or our parents pay every semester, often for things we never use or to pay off university debt. We'll have that story next semester.
All right, that's Bethany Tuggle live in the studio. Thanks.
UNC student organizations will host different activities throughout the week to raise awareness and support in the fight against HIV. According to the United Nations Program on HIV, 33.2 million people are currently living with HIV. 2.5 million of those are children. 95% of the people living with HIV and AIDS live in developing nations. But Student Global Health Committee member Meredith Camrot says it's important for anyone who's sexually active to get tested.
We really want to make it sort of like getting your cholesterol checked. You would just go and do it regularly. It shouldn't be a stigmatizing type thing to come and get an HIV test.
Campus Health Services offers free HIV testing for students throughout the year.
The Carolina Inn is celebrating the holiday season with its annual take on the 12 Days of Christmas. 3 French hens, 9 dancing ladies, and of course the partridge in a pear tree are just a few of the unique decorations on display. Each is custom made in the artist's interpretation of a verse. The 12 Lords of Leaping are a special tribute to our university and our national champions. The newest addition is a textile collage titled It's Snowing at the Carolina Inn by local artist Elaine O'Neill. The most popular display is of course the 2 turtle doves, which are just inside the main entrance. The display is open to the public every day between now and January 3rd. And you know, Chris, speaking of Christmas, it's starting to feel like that time of year.
It is. I'm ready for the holidays. I'm not so ready for these cold temperatures. Weathercaster John Boyer is here to tell us if they're going to stick around. John?
You know, before we can even begin to think about our temperatures feeling like winter, we have some severe thunderstorms and some rain to talk about. We'll sort all of it out after the break.
G Morning Sunshine.
Wakey, wakey. Text me back. Hey, did you tell your parents about us? Let's skip first period together. Did you get all my texts? Is practice over yet? Where are you at? Are you with your friends? That's L-A-A-A-A-M-M-E-E-E. Capital X, lowercase o, capital X, lowercase o. I love you. JK, I hate you. JK. Are you ignoring me? We're in a huge fight right now. Is this something I did? I can see your lights on. I'm coming over. What'd you dream about? Me? I'm lonely. Holla back. Holla back. Let's try something new. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Thank you for staying with us here on Carolina Week. I'm John Boyer. Our forecast does have the potential for some severe weather, especially in the southeastern part of the viewing area. And then after this is done, it's going to feel like winter this weekend, and it may end up in a few flurries, nothing big, but I'll have all that information coming up in the forecast. Right now, the radar is showing us a huge area of rain off to the west of us. Here we are in North Carolina. Now, some of these storms down here over Georgia and Florida are capable of producing tornadoes, and they have so far this afternoon. But right now, we just have plain old rain, and it will actually pick up in intensity over the next few hours before we might even begin to think about storms. The good news is for the Chapel Hill location, which you see here represented by the white dot. We're not in the main risk area. The best risk for any kind of severe weather is going to be off towards the coast, places like Wilmington and Morehead City. Definitely have to keep an eye out. And there's already a tornado watch for these parts of South Carolina. Unfortunately, that's still a few hours away for the folks in North Carolina. But the main threats North Carolina might be seeing are some high winds, flash flooding, and of course some isolated tornadoes. Now, what's causing this out on the surface map? Here's an area of low pressure off to our west. Big dip in the jet stream aloft that brought this into position. Now, this warm front you see is just about to pass through, and that's going to bring our temperatures up overnight. But before this cold front rolls through, that's when we'll see a heavy patch of rain and some storms from places, say in the southeastern part of our viewing area. They're watching us on Time Warner Cable. Cold front's out of here for the day on tomorrow, so we will have a mostly pleasant day. High pressure will take control of our weather, but that doesn't mean it's going to get cold immediately tomorrow. And tomorrow, not too bad of a day, just some partly cloudy skies. But our next weather maker is back here over Texas and New Mexico. It's going to slide along the Gulf Coast, and by this weekend, if you do happen to be traveling, here's what it means for your travel plans. Rain for us in the Piedmont and along the coastal plains, but snow and snow showers for places in West Virginia and in the Appalachian Mountains and up in Pennsylvania. So if you were driving around, especially I-26, I-77 through Virginia, or 64 off to the game in Kentucky, watch out for some icy conditions, especially after dark. I'm sure it'll be nice and toasty inside the basketball game in Lexington, Kentucky at Kentucky on Saturday, but outside it's going to feel really cold. 36, maybe some flurries, just partly cloudy skies. So overnight tonight, a threat for some severe weather. Please stay tuned or online for that kind of weather information. If we could go back to tonight, I'll show you what we expect for our temperatures. They're going to go up by midnight and then fall back down for when you wake up. So we're expecting 59 here in the Triangle, 59 for Fayetteville, 61 Greenville, and some strong gusty winds out of the south, perhaps 20 miles an hour. Then for the day on tomorrow, we don't really heat up that much from where we were at our low. Just 61 for the Triangle, 64 in Fayetteville, 57 back toward the Triad. Maybe an AM sprinkle, but other than that, partly cloudy skies are clearing. Here's a Carolina Week 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy skies Thursday and Friday. Temperatures begin that decline into Saturday and Sunday down into the 40s, and our nighttime low, especially Saturday night into Sunday, that's 28 degrees. So any rain that's left over from Saturday may turn into some snow showers or flurries on Saturday night, but don't worry. At this time, we don't expect it to accumulate, but you always want to stay tuned for the latest weather forecast wherever you can.
All right, sounds like it'd be a good weekend to stay and bundle up and maybe drink some hot chocolate.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Winter is almost upon us, and the nights are getting longer now that it's December. If you're looking for some companionship to brighten your evening, meet our pet of the week. This little fur ball here is Bingo. Isn't he cute? He's only 10 weeks old, and he's a Border Collie German Shepherd mix. Before coming to the shelter, Bingo was in a junkyard with 7 of his brothers and sisters. He loves a good rub on the belly and playing with rope. Although he looks soft enough to hold, he'd much rather run around. He's healthy and would make a great addition to your family. For information about how to adopt Bingo, you can go to carolinaweek.org.
And now sportscaster Simone Scott joins us. Simone, big win for the Tar Heels this week.
Packed house at the Dean Dome last night. I was in the building, and the national champions didn't disappoint.
That's right, Chris and Lauren. And after the break, a rematch of the national championship. Will the third time be the charm for the Spartans?
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Fred.
Rad! Hey pal, you want to pay attention to the road?
Relax, man, I got it.
Look, my man, if your bad driving gets me killed, you better hope you die too, or I will haunt you silly. And I'm not just gonna float over your bed like, woo! I'm gonna be making a more annoying noise, like, ah! And instead of wearing those long white robes, I think I'll wear something more form-fitting and upsetting. The other ghosts will look and be like, wow, we've never seen that before.
A bright future starts with a healthy lifestyle. Good nutrition and physical activity are fuel for your child's mind and body.
Attaboy, Pinot.
And the food pyramid will help you find the right balance. Just remember, every color, every day.
Nothing can stop me now.
Eat right.
Here's an apple.
Be active.
Come on, I'll race you home.
Make it balanced.
This calls for a celebration.
A healthy lifestyle can lead to great things for your child. Visit mypyramid.gov to learn more.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends. Friends to go out with on a Saturday night. Friends to hang out with and do nothing. Friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Tar Heel fans are pumped. The men's basketball team faced off against Michigan State Tuesday night for the third time in 12 months. The Heels got it going early on. With this jumper, Deion Thompson got the crowd fired up. Thompson has stepped up in the past couple of games, proving himself to be one of the Heels' go-to guys. Another guy who stepped up, John Henson, number 31. Henson has shown that he can score and block and will be an asset to this team. And with this buzzer beater from Dexter Strickland, the Heels go into halftime up 50-34. Just when it looks like the Heels will put this game out of reach, the Spartans come running back, literally. By failing to run back on defense, Michigan State was able to get easy layups. Now, this is something the Heels are going to have to work on with this tough game against Kentucky on Saturday. Something else to work on, free throws. Shooting 60% is not going to do it. But by staying calm and making some great shots, the Heels were able to pull out the victory 89-82. Anson Dorrance and the women's soccer team are closing in on another national championship. The Heels face Notre Dame in the Final Four. This season marks the 4th consecutive year that UNC has met Notre Dame in the NCAA tournament. The game will be played in Aggie Soccer Stadium in College Station, Texas, and kickoff is at 8 p.m. The men's soccer team is also well on its way to the College Cup. The Heels face off against Drake on Friday in the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament. If the Heels pull this one out, they'll be making a trip to Cary for the College Cup. That game kicks off 6 p.m. here at Fetzer Field. UNC is, after all, the University of National Champions. In addition to the recent national title in field hockey and possible titles in men and women's soccer, the men's basketball team has started its defense of its national title. It's been a great semester in sports. Here's a musical tribute to Tar Heel athletics.
Looking at me. Look at that, look at how they looking at me. Eyes are sticking like honey on bees.
Yeah, DC chillin', PG chillin'. My name Wale and I came to get it, came to get it, came to get it. My name Wale.
came to get we won't stop. Nope. We keep on coming. We won't quit. That's why we keep bringing it.
We drop in everything you pop in. From the yin yang twin begin to make your adrenaline pump right on through your skin and make that pump again. They were playing a den, but we came on back, so we went it. We jumped out like a jack in the box. I'm like an adder with a bad dude sack in my sock. Tell them how we gonna come. Tell them why they don't wanna. Tell them why they better run. Crawl, crawl, stand up, make it crawl.
Now, it's certainly been a great semester in sports with lots of wins and still a lot more to come.
Yeah, we're wishing the best of luck to the men's and women's soccer team.
And of course, we're all ready for basketball. That ACC schedule to heat up in the spring, so a lot to look forward to here at UNC.
Great.
Thanks, Simone.
Thanks. Chris, could you ever see yourself working in pageants?
Well, I think I might get a little distracted, but I'll probably be able to work it out. Coming up, we'll introduce you to one UNC alum who does it, and he loves it.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
My name's Emily, and in 7 years, I'll be an alcoholic.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
I'm Jeremy Call, and I made suction tires. Wait, what? Wait, I used a rivet gun to connect the suction cups, and then I just connected it to the tire. I got the idea from an octopus because of the suction cups, and I don't know.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your invention at inventnow.org.
Lauren, it's every guy's dream to be surrounded by dozens of beautiful women.
For you, Chris, that's going to happen only in your dreams.
Very funny, but for one UNC alum, it's a reality, and he actually gets paid to do it. Let's take a look.
Nationwide, countless women parade in beautiful gowns under the direction of this man. He's Dana Rosengard. He's been in the pageant business for 23 years, ever since organizers asked him to MC the Miss Mississippi USA contest after reporting about it as a young journalist.
As I pursued my career as a journalist, moving across the country to bigger stations and bigger markets, I plugged myself into, the Miss Rhode Island USA pageant and then the Miss Massachusetts USA pageant. And sort of that ball just never stopped rolling.
He's held practically every position in beauty competitions, from judging and emceeing to producing and coaching.
To work with a young woman who wants to be Miss USA, sometimes they don't even know what it truly means to be Miss USA or how to reach that goal. And so to help them understand that and figure that out is fun. It's like teaching.
Women he's coached have gone on to win national titles, such as Valerie Eklund, Miss New Hampshire USA in 1994, and Claudia Jordan, who you might recognize from Deal or No Deal. Rosengard has been able to work effectively with young women because he makes them feel at home on stage.
He makes everything just very warm and comfortable, so I felt really, really good on stage with him.
But Rosengard does more than showcase young and intelligent women. He's a professor at Suffolk University in Massachusetts.
He even co-founded this very news program back in 2000.
Programs like Carolina Week expose students to all of the other positions of responsibility. And that's fun to be part of.
And so is his side job. In High Point, I'm Lisa Sines, Carolina Week.
Okay, that does it for the semester for Carolina Week. Thank you so much for watching.
Have a safe winter break. We'll see you in 2010. Good night.